Good morning, everyone. I'm back. Yes. So, I wanted to do an abstract. This is a linen paper. I'll show it to you. You can buy these really big. They even come bigger than this. This is 11 3/4, 15 3/4. This is a Dutch size, 30 by 40 centimeters, and as you can see, there's a linen structure to this paper, and this is especially for oils or acrylics. It's 140 pounds, 290 grams per meter, and there's 10 of these sheets, and it's pretty expensive. It's not really cheap, but it's more the professional thing. So what I've done is I've put down a base color. First I put down bleached titanium, unbleached. So that was the really light color. Then I put on some titanium bluff. That's this one. It's all Galeria, Winsor & Newton. So that's the top color, buff titanium. Now this is just the base color, the background, so that we have it totally covered. It's dried, and it goes really fast. If you put it out in the sun, it'll dry within, like, I don't know, 10 minutes. It's dry. So what I'd like to do is just do a normal abstract, and I have some things that I'm thinking about. I want to maybe use some black Chinese ink. I might want to do some really bold colors, something like really a nice Van Dyke brown with a beautiful turquoise popping up, a little bit of red here and there, because it's going to be just an abstract thing. Now, I know a lot of people try to do abstracts, and then all of a sudden they think, you know, what's this? It's just, you know, it looks like a mess. So I want to try and help you out there, because what you want to think about, if you've ever heard of it, the rule of thirds. So what you do is put an imaginary line. You would divide this in 3, so line there, line there. Then you divide this bit in 3, and then you have like a raster with 9. I'm not sure if I'm explaining myself. I'll do it again. I'm sorry about that. So I'll just draw it on here. So when you have your painting, say you're having a painting like this, then you sort of divide it up in these 9 squares. Now, the most pleasing to the eye is if you put something on these bits. Do that, and you use that on an abstract, it'll have this point where it pulls your attention, and that's what makes it interesting, because, I don't know, we have the golden circle, we have the rule of thirds. The golden circle is something different. It goes more like a circle-y thing, and why that is pleasing, because in nature you get to see these spiral things. Now you can do this in your head. You don't have to put lines on here. So I'm going to wet my brush, and what I have here is, again, the bluff titanium, and this is the Van Dyke brown. And the thing with Van Dyke brown is it gives a sort of a cold color, which I really don't like. So this is going on the rule of thirds. So I'm just putting it on there a little, and a little bit more in the middle. So I want to use other things than just brushes, so I'm going to do this and bring it back down like that. And as you see, this is on the last line of the rule of thirds. Now you don't have to do the whole thing, because here would be the other line, and what I'd like to do is just make it come off there just a little bit, not too much. So I'm going to put that roller thing in there and pull it back, up and back, and no more than that. Now, if that's not something that you really like, the good thing about making this is that you can take stuff off. So right now I want this a little bit, just a little bit less. There you go. I don't want it to be too much prominently there, so I'm taking it off just a little bit. And if you wet your cloth, you'll see that you can almost take it all off, the parts you don't like, because of the under base color. So the base color is really important if you want to, you know, do this. So that's about what I was looking for. Now, of course, you want this to dry before you go and do the other layer, because otherwise when you come in with that little roly thing, you know, you're just going to be mixing your colors together, and that's not really what we want. Another plus is that you're creating a little bit of structure. As you can see here, there's more paint in parts of it and down here, so it's going to give you a little bit of structure, and that's what we want to have too, because I'm going to do a wash over it at the end. Now this, maybe I don't like this bit because this is coming down and this is going sideways, and then you can always come in with a brush to just, and this is a dry brush, and just pull that down a little bit. See that? Right now I'm just sort of making sure that it's coming down like that. And then maybe you can think, you know, I would like just a little bit more, just a little bit of it coming down there, and I want to even that up a little. So that's about nice. This is nice and tight, this is nice and loosey. So okay, so I'm gonna let this dry and be right back. Okay, we have this dried. I just use a one of those I'm lost for words today. I don't know why that is. So a hair dryer. That's it. So now I want to come in with a different color, because I'm going to be layering this up, and a little bit of light. That's a little gooky stuff in there. Got to get rid of that. Then a little bit of brown there. And we're going to do the same thing over again, because like I said, I do want a bit of structure in this paint. I'm going to come down here a little, and down here. Now, I'm not sure if I like, let's see, am I in focus? Yes, I am. So I'm not sure if I like that, if I want more brown on top of that. Let's see what that is. Yeah, that's looking a little bit better. A little bit more up here. And I'm going to just, you know, go with the flow, just seeing what I really like. I just might speed the parts of this up, guys, because it might be a long video. I do want this a little longer. Okay, that's going to look nice like that. Okay. Now I'm going to dry it again. These are going to be this is going to be a long video. Okay, now we're going to do something to the sides, because I think, you know, it's kind of boring if we just have this background thing. So with a little sponge, I just cut myself a sponge, and I'm going to give it a little bit of shading because it needs that. So I'm going to come around the corners here. And as you can see, that's a nice way to shade parts of this. I'll say it's a canvas, I don't know, but it looks like a canvas. So we're going to give it a little bit of, oh, I got a little bit of brown on the side, I think. Okay, about that. Then I'm going to add more brown because we're going to give a little bit of a dark corner. That looks good. And now I'm thinking I need it up here too, so I'm going to give it here a little bit of shading. And I'm not really sure how far the matte I'm going to put on it is going to come. We're going to see how that works out. Now I'm pretty sure some of you are saying, oh, that's a really cool effect. I'd like to have that because it gives this illusion of dark corners, and it's really nice. It doesn't, you know, have these brush strokes in it, which is true. All you have to do is get your paint. Like, I don't use palettes because I think that's a waste. I just take a piece of cardboard and use that. So you put your dark, then you put your light, and you push your sponge in there. Maybe dab it off with a little bit of the lighter color, and then you can just use that. Now, if you really want it to smooth out, you could get another sponge, clean one, and make it a little bit moist. Let me put that down, and then come over it, and you'll see that you can really get it really smooth. And again, that's only because we had a base. The base is actually sort of closing off the paper and making it waterproof. So if I were to say want a stripe in here, all I'd have to do, take a piece of cloth and then just do this. See that? And that's only because there's a base. So that's really important. But now I have to fix it. Okay, we'll just fix that up. That's okay. And it sort of looks cool. I might even use that technique to make it a little bit prettier up there. Okay, I think we're done. Now, something has to be, because this is totally boring. This is nothing to look at. So we want to create something that is, that people are thinking, huh, what's that? So what I'm going to use is something I found in the shop yesterday. This is a really cheap thing. You use it to do your wallpaper, you know, where they push it and then they cut it, the wallpaper. So this thing you can find in any home improvement store, and you can do a lot of stuff with this, because right now I'll show you, I'll just use the dark. If I were to, of course you can have a bigger palette and just push it into the palette, but I'm not going to do that right now because I just want to show you a couple of things that you can do with this. So with your brush you put on some paint, and then you can just put it on here like that. See how it makes these really neat little splotches of paint? I kind of like that. And you just press it down and it'll make the paint drop on your paper like that. And again, it'll give you that structure that you're looking for. So I'm going to add a little paint because I want to continue this line also. So a little bit more paint on the thing. And of course you can use all sides. See, now we're having something that is a little bit more interesting to look at, because you're thinking, oh, that's not done with a brush. How would they be doing that? So that's giving a little bit of different look to things. And I think this is what abstract is all about, because it's about experimenting with textures, experimenting with ways to put paint on your medium, and all that kind of stuff. Now, this side, yeah, this side also has something that I think is kind of cool looking, and I'm going to see if I paint this, what it's going to leave behind. And again, this is just taking you guys with me through this sort of, I don't know, journey of abstract. And what we're doing here is sort of a mono print. So we're going to do that. Not too much, because this is more stripy, and the more we use this, we're going to get these patterns, which we really don't want. Okay, that was that. We're going to clean that off later. Put it in some water. Now we want to add something with really beautiful color. So for that, I'm not going to use the Winsor & Newton, because I want some really intense color. For that, I'm going to be using, this is the highest quality paint there is. And I'm going to pour that on here, and I'm just going to pull it down. There's not enough paint on there. I'm going to be pulling it down. And it shouldn't be really too tight. What I mean with tight is that it shouldn't be really straight. Not too straight. We're going to give a little one down here. What's that? I think I kind of like it. My brush needs some water because it's, I don't know what I did with it, but it's totally, ooh, I think I forgot to put it in water. Okay, so this we're going to let dry, and then we're going to come back in with another contrast color. So as you can see, I'm building it all up, but as I'm using the rule of thirds, I'm building it up right down here. Now later on, I'm not sure if I have this big a mat, but if I put a mat on it, you'll see that it all comes together. So be right back. Okay, now this is dry, and what I want to do is one last thing that, you know, sort of makes it interesting. Now I have a stencil, and I think I'm going to center it right on top of here, like that. I'm not going to stick it down. I'm just going to be using my hand. I am getting a little sponge, which is going to be a little wet, and I'm loading it up with orange, and I'm going to press it down like this. And why I'm using this color is because, well, first off, it's a really nice contrasting color, and I don't really use this color that much, so I thought I'd do it. So just putting it down where I think it's going to be nice. That's it. I'm going to keep my hand there just to see it, and I think it's okay. Remember to put that in water straight away, because otherwise it's gonna stay on there. You don't want that. Let's see if I'm in focus here. Yeah, pretty much. So now we have this bit that I do like. Now if I were to choose to do it square, as you can see here, all of a sudden it all comes together. It's still doing the rule of thirds, as you can see, only I'm making it just a little bit smaller. But then you're going to say, but why did you do that? That's right, because sometimes you just want to do it bigger. I don't have a bigger mat, so that's, but you can get the idea. If you put it in the center, not too bad. It still has the rule of thirds down here, and putting it like this, it'll give you the golden circle. So it's all up to you what you really want. Let me see if I have a bigger mat. Well, I do have a little bit bigger. So as you can see, even though I'm going a little bit bigger, it still is nice because you can just take that out and it looks interesting. Okay. I would like that bit in there. So I would really go for the bigger mat, as big as this whole thing. And get the shadow bits in there too. That would make it just that little bit more interesting. But right now, this is kind of cute. So guys, I hope I inspired you to do some really crazy stuff with paint. Abstract really is just, you know, using everything that you have. You could be using the bottom of bottles. That would be cool. You can use a glass. You press the rim of the glass in the paint. I've done one of those before. I'll do that one at the end of this video. I'll show you that one because that was a real fun one to do too. And I'm going to clean this all up, and then I'm going to come back with a secret. Yeah, okay. I'll see you in the next video, guys. Thanks all. Love you all to pieces, as usual. And I hope you're having a really fun Saturday or Sunday. Depends on when you're watching. So thanks all. Bye-bye.